So, here we go. Looking at this file, I do not want you to be overwhelmed. This takes a little bit of time for us to do, but there is a lot of things to learn in here, and we're going to take it one step at a time. So there's going to be a lot of videos throughout this entire thing. You do have to finish what we were doing yesterday first. So if you didn't do that, you got to go back and do that. If you are an outsider and you're not from room EO3, like you're in the world somewhere, you have to go back to that first video just to watch the intro, because we're doing the difference between AutoCAD and AutoCAD architecture, and we're actually going to start phasing into not really talking about AutoCAD anymore and just using AutoCAD architecture. So if you're trying to learn AutoCAD, you can go back to my other tutorials. I have playlists, and there's one called Intro to AutoCAD. There's then 2D and then 3D, so you can learn all that stuff too. And I'm hoping to put a little bit more time into my channel and try to update some of my older videos. I think I've aged quite a little bit too, so I'm not like a 13-year-old anymore when I started shooting them, and hopefully we'll come back and we'll make them a lot better. Okay, so here we go. Looking at this file, which I'm gonna put this on your R drive as well. And for anybody out there, our R drive is like our shared drive that I let the kids pretty much like get my files from. What we're going to do is we're going to learn how to just make a floor plan of a ranch house, which is just a smaller house. I believe this one that I did this is actually my house. I forgot I did this. But I changed some things. There's a lot of different things in here. Like if I were to take out a wall and put in a new kitchen, a lot of times I'm trying to think about what I want to do with my design in my own house, because that's just kind of fun to do. Okay, so this one has 3 bedrooms. It has a master, bedroom 1, bedroom 2, which would also double as probably an office. Although, actually that's where my office is. Although in the back of my garage here, I changed the plan, so now the office is back here. You have what's called a mud room. A mud room is basically just like that entrance foyer where you would like take your dirty shoes off and hang your jacket up and things like that. You see there's a little coat closet in there. In the master, you see you have one of the larger closets in the house. You have your bathroom 1, master bath back behind it, which is easy for the design, I guess, trying to put 2 bathrooms back to back like that. Kitchen is wide open to the living room, so anybody who's in here is still part of this conversation and, you know, watching movies or whatever you want, and anybody that's in the living room can still be a part of the kitchen conversation. So pretty decent design, but basically also a very standard basic ranch house. It's just a big rectangle. So what I want to do is I want to go through creating this, and I want to simplify it for you by showing a quick tool. Again, I have my camera like right in front of my face, and I got to get that figured out. But I'll have to like look up and down sometimes to get over it. One of the tools that you guys are going to be using a lot is this one. It's called Lay Off. Okay, so it's a little light bulb up here. And again, I'm using 2020, but we use 2017 in class. Everything is mostly the same. What this does is it turns my layers off. So remember, we were talking about in the last video how my walls, these blue cyan walls, are on the wall layer. And, you know, if I had an electrical plan on here, that would be on the green electrical layer. Doors are automatically on the blue layer. I have text on this magenta layer. So they're all on different layers, and you know what that does, and you'll notice that everything selects right now. I actually have to ungroup my stuff. I have it all grouped. Let's try it a different way. There we go. So it's all on different layers. So in order to simplify this, when you guys first open this up, I want you to go to Lay Off, and I want you to turn off like the text of the room, and maybe turn off the doors and turn off the, I'd probably leave it like that, and then turn off the kitchen stuff. Appliances are in like this blue color here. You can turn off these. What I really want to see is I just want to see the dimensions. I want to see the outside walls. We can get rid of this and this. Stairs, we can get rid of that. Dimensions, outside walls, and windows. You could actually even leave doors on. We're going to need that at some point too. So if we go up to the layers here and we want to turn it back on, we find the layer that we want to turn on. I think it's called A Door, which is up here somewhere. Turn the light bulb back on. Okay, so now you see the doors back on. And you'll notice that turns that stuff off for my entire drawing here, you know, all the different things that I have going on. So it's not just that one area. Some of your computers were running slower with having all of this stuff in here. So like I said, I'm going to simplify this drawing, and I'm going to keep it maybe just to this stuff here. I also want to give you a warning, and this is not for the outsiders, this is for my students. These are your projects that you have to do, and they're going to be graded, which means you're going to be tempted to just take mine and copy and paste it. But here's the reason why that will not work, and I will know. I hide lines and I hide things within my drawing, and what I'll do is when I walk up and check your assignment, I will look for those things that I hid. They're impossible to find. You won't know where they are. And if you copy it, I'll know that you did that, and you'll end up failing the assignment. So be careful. Don't do that. Just learn the basics. We're day 2 right now. This is something that everybody can learn, and I don't want you guys to try to take the easy way out. Okay? So here we go. We are going to create a 60-foot by, I guess I have the full dimension over here, 30-foot ranch house. Okay? So first thing is we go to the wall tool. We're going to use 3.5-inch walls. Those are 2x4 studs. They are 16 inches on center. That's just like standard wall thickness and standard wall spacing. And we're going to do an 8-foot ceiling. We don't really have to worry about the 16 inches on center thing. That just means that when you're hanging a picture or something, every 16 inches is going to be a new stud. And that's just the way things are, okay? Sometimes they actually go smaller, but in our case, it really doesn't matter, okay? All right, so we got a 3.5-inch wall here, so you got to change this number, make it say 3.5. Again, this is 3 feet, and this would be 3 inches, or that would be 3 inches. Really the same thing. But for us, if we just do 3.5, enter, it'll make it 3.5 inches. Make your base height 8 feet. That's how tall the wall is. And then don't forget to change your justification. I'll remind you of what this is because we talked about it in last video. When you have it on left, you can draw to the right. It actually seems kind of funny. You can draw clockwise, okay? Because look at the corners, how it closes the corner tight. If I was on left and I drew the other way, you'll see that the corner is open, and that's going to make your lines or your walls bigger. That's going to be like the interior measurement is going to be the number that you type. So I like to draw the other way. So I'm going to get rid of this stuff, and I'm going to go back to wall, 3.5, 8. This is going to be right justification. The other two we really don't use. So I'll go down. I'm going to make this 30 feet. Make sure you stay on the green line. If you don't have this green line, that's called the polar line. You have to hit F10. If you don't like to see the floating numbers here, like I don't, you turn F12, and that puts everything down here now. Sorry, I had it pop up. Let's see, what else would you guys need to know? I think that's pretty much it. Okay, F10. Yeah, we'll stick with that for now. Oh, and one of the other things we said in class was OS it stands for OSNAP, so make sure midpoint is on. Okay, that just means that those green little boxes are going to snap on those different points. All right, let's do that again. Wall, 3.5, 8. Right justification. Going down, my cursor's in the down direction, 30 feet. Going to the right, 60 feet. Going up, 30 feet. And then I just do C, enter for close. Okay, so we've got our 60 by 30 ranch floor plan, and then we're going to start working on the inside stuff. I like to start in the garage. The first thing you're going to do is try to map out all these walls and then get the doors in. So you'll notice that I have... What you can do is you're actually going to dimension my drawing, because if I had too many dimensions on there, you guys would go nuts. So looking at the interior dimension, I'm not going to measure this from the outside. I'm going to go from the inside to inside. That's going to give me 16 feet. And then I'm going to go the other way. That's 20 feet. Okay, so we got a 16 foot by 20 foot garage, and that's 2 walls for us to draw. If you're going to go up here and click on the dimensioning tool, don't hit this one. You're going to go to the same one that we normally use, which is called linear, okay? But I like to just type it. I type a lot of things. Dim linear, all right? So 16 feet by 20 feet. So here's what you can do. What you can do is I like to draw lines in this place. And this is what I meant to say in the last video, but I just kind of forgot what I was doing. So if I go on this inside point and I just slide up without clicking, you'll see it starts to count up. How far it goes doesn't matter, but just click, okay? Now you're drawing to the left, and we're going to do 16 feet. I want my wall to be on the other side of that line, which means that I'm going to take my wall tool again, wall, and I'm going to draw from here. I need it to be outside of that line, not inside of that line, which means that I am capable of drawing this way now. And I'll snap that up top. This is going to go until it hits this one. And now I don't need this line anymore. That is a 16-foot line, and that's how big the room is inside to inside now. If it was on the other side, it would actually be 15 foot 9.5 or whatever, okay? 8.5. Yeah. Okay, as far as going this way, same thing, line. You can go off the midpoint. You can go wherever you want. As long as you get a point on there in the direction that you're going, you can type your number, 20 feet. Now I need my wall to be on the opposite side of that. So here's a trick. Rather than going to the wall tool every time and rather than typing it, what you can do is a tool called match. Sorry, that's not what it is. We want to do match properties is going to match the properties. What is the name of that tool? Well, okay, that'll come to me. We'll do that in a minute. snap. Make sure it's on top, click. This can then be clicked on and stretched, and then snap to the walls. Again, this is just a line. It's almost like a dummy line when we were doing 3D stuff. Delete. Now we got the garage, okay? Now if you want, you can do lay on, and that turns all the layers back on. And you can go over here, and the only things I will let you copy are like the things that are difficult, like really difficult, like the text. You don't want to have to type all that. No, I shouldn't say difficult, but the things that we don't really need to be doing. You can copy the text, and you can copy the look of this little door here, because the door itself is just this. But this garage door, this just shows that it goes overhead, you know, and it's dotted because it is actually over your head, okay? So we can copy those types of things. So, but before you copy this stuff, you're going to want to put that door in. So we'll do that in a second. You can copy this text, Control-C, and then go over here, Control-V. Boom, 8-foot garage, 16 wide by 20. Doors, okay? What is that tool name? I can't, it's going to drive me crazy. Hang on. Oh, man. What is that tool? Oh, you know what it is? Okay, so if you click on the door, you'll see that this changes. You want to do add selected, but there's no way to type that tool, and it's nowhere, it's not located anywhere else, and that's why I couldn't think of it. But when you find something that you want to recreate the exact thing of, you can do add selected, and we will go down here and we'll just click that door in there. Now again, if I snap to the midpoint or I snap to the end point, it really doesn't matter at this point because I still have to get that in the center. So while I still have a full line here and I didn't cut the door out yet, I'm going to take a line again, or we could have left the last one, and put it right down the middle. Go too far. You don't want it to snap to anything. Take your door, move the midpoint, and move it onto that line. Just like that. We could flip the door left to right, which wouldn't change anything in this case, and we could flip it in and out, which also we would not want to do. It's already perfect the way that it is. Erase the line. This is recessed in. Just like in the garage plan that we did, this is 2 inches thick. It's on the back side of the wall, and then there's a 2-inch recession in the front. This door is done. You can now go like this. Take this stuff. I would do copy in this situation, and I would grab it from the inside corner. These are the only things that you're able to copy. And then inside corner. So the base points are now the same, although this door looks like it's off, so hold on. Unless I messed up that copy selection. Hold on. Copy, inside corner. Inside corner. Yeah, that's in the right spot, and this should be an 8-foot door, so that's weird. Let's do dim linear. That's coming out to be 4'1 3/4", and that's not supposed to be that. So something happened with the door. So let's go back and do that again. Take a line, go off the midpoint, go straight down. That is actually right on that point. That's weird. Oh, you know why? I know why. This right here is stretched to the end, and this one I didn't stretch all the way. So that wall was technically not 16 feet across, and that's why it's not in the center. So that's 2 mistakes already if anybody's keeping track at home. Midpoint. Okay, let's try that again. This one from the midpoint should be there, and now it's correct. Man, oh man. Okay, I got to get back into this again. You know, it's been so long since I was recording videos, and I'm used to just doing it and not really talking about it. So we're going to push forward here, and I'm going to try a little harder. Okay, so going back to my plan, I did lay on, which means that everything's back on. So if that's too confusing for you and you don't like all that stuff, turn those layers off. I'm going to leave them on because I like to see stuff, okay? So now, the other thing is I don't want you to do add selected on everything right away. Like, I don't want you to click this door right now and do add selected because I need you to learn how to make the doors too, which are very simple to do. This is going to be a 3068 door. 30, you'll notice the 0 is smaller, stands for 3 feet. That's how many feet? How many inches? How many feet? How many inches? 6'8" is how tall the door is. So you'll also be able to copy this text. So if I want to make that door, I go to the door tool. I'm going to leave the door type alone. And then I'm going to go to 3 foot. And I'm going to leave this 6'8". And then I'm going to go draw my door on whatever wall I want. It says select wall. So I'll put that right here. And we will snap that there for now. Okay, now it's right up against that wall. So there's other ways to do this. You don't have to follow it the same way. You could go back into mine and you could do a dim linear and figure out how far over that's got to go. 2'8". So now we can just take this. We do M for move. I can click anywhere. I like to click out here. Stay on the green line. 2'8". Boom. It's in the right spot. Let's check the swing. This is like, hey, you're walking in and it's going up against the right wall. I also have the opening percentage changed. I like to see them like this rather than having them open 90 degrees or whatever this number is. So let's click on the door. We're going to flip it to the right side. And then we're going to go into the properties of that. And we're going to go to swing angle and change that to 45. That is now correct. And when you do 45, you'll see when I click on this one, that one's also 45. I can take this text. I can do copy. I'm going to do it from this inside corner. You just got to snap on something that's common between the two. See, I don't even have that inside corner yet, so that was another small mistake. So let's go from the other inside corner. Copy, we'll go off of this one. Inside left, inside left. That's only if you want to get this in the right spot. Now, can we make text boxes? Absolutely. Do we really want to do that? No. Just copy the text. Make it easier, save yourself some time. Now we need the wall in here. This is the office. There's going to be a closet back here, and this is the mud room. So before we put any more text in there, let's figure out where this wall is. I can look here. It's 9 foot 8 1/2. These are inside measurements, which means that from here to here is going to be 9 foot 8 1/2. So if you want, take a line, go from the midpoint, draw over 9 feet 8 1/2 inch. Take note of how I type that. It's very important. That's 9 feet 8 1/4 inches or 1/2 inches, which is what we have right here. Okay. So now, can we take the wall and can we do add selected? Yes. So now we go down. You'll notice that that is actually backwards. It's making it too small. So I got to go this way or I have to change my justification. I don't like changing my justification on the fly, but you can. If you hit shift, it'll cycle through the different ones. So if you know you definitely want to draw down this way, hitting shift gets it to where it needs to be. And again, just snap everything to the farthest point that you can snap. That way you don't run into the issue that I had before. And up. This gets erased. So let's double check the measurements of this room here. Again, I can't see those tools that are higher up. From here to here, 9 foot 8 1/2. From here to here is 9 feet 1 1/2. So going back to my plan, this is by 9 foot 1 1/2. So that's good. Closet. I didn't write the dimensions in there because it's only a closet. It's not a bedroom. So from inside to inside, we have a 2 foot 2. Take your line. Draw from here, 2 feet 2. That's going to be where that wall is. Select any wall. Add selected. Draw. That looks good like that. I'll draw to here. Here's another thing. I want to mention this because it's very important. A lot of times when you go to hit delete on something, the last wall that you add selected on is still selected. So let me show you that real quick. If I select a wall and I go to add selected and I go like this like I just did and then I draw this, I hit escape to get out of that tool, which is normal for AutoCAD, but you'll notice that what I went to copy is still selected. So many times I run to go erase this line because I don't need it anymore, and then you end up erasing both. So you got to be careful. You actually have to hit escape twice when you're done with it. Then erase the line, then stretch your wall. See, I just did it again. Go all the way. And then if you get a situation like this, just trim the end off. TR enter. Or is it TR enter enter? Yeah, for quick trim, right? All right, now in this case, we are going to do a bifold door. No, we're not. Sorry, we're going to do a double sliding door. This is a 4068 double sliding. So, door. Style. We're going to do the double sliding. So we got to find where it says double sliding. So we got double sliding. We're going to do 4 feet wide, and you're still going to leave it 6'8". What wall do you want it on? We want it here. We'll snap it anywhere for right now. You'll notice there's actually a threshold on there as if that's an outside door, so we don't want that. So I want to see if down here we can just, see, that's not the setting. So it might be just a different door called something else. Double pocket, no, double sliding, double hinge, double bifold. Double opposite swing, exterior hinged. This is it, interior double sliding. So now that I have that selected, I'm going to hit interior double sliding, which is that one, and it takes that little threshold off because it is an interior door. So that was another mistake by me. Not a big deal. We want that in the middle. I don't really need to know how wide this is because all I got to do is just go from the midpoint of this back line, since this is a complete wall right now, and go straight down. And then what you can do is you can go off of this. You can hit move off of, see, we don't really have a midpoint here, so here's another situation. We go from here to here, again, I'm making a line. You might want to change the color of your lines, that way they're not the same as the wall layer, but that's totally up to you. It doesn't really distract me all that much. So if I have a line going from one side of the doors to the other, now I can move the door and hit enter from the midpoint of the line to my line that I crossed through. I know that seems like it's a little bit harder, but it's really not, okay? So now we got those. We got to see which way it's going to swing. We need the right door to be on the mudroom side, and we'll see what opening percentage it is, 25. It's a little bit different for double sliding doors. It makes it look a little nicer. This is on the mud side, and this one is on the inside of the closet, and the entire thing is to the right, which means that you're going to actually open, you can open both sides on a door like this. You guys probably know the door I'm talking about, but for the most part, the main way would be on the left side here because you can see the opening percentages over there. Okay, so taking this, sliding it that way, and flipping it this way, that puts this on the mud side room. The opening percentage is pretty big right now, so we're going to change that back to 25. Now let's steal some text. We can steal this, we can steal that, these. We didn't do that door yet, but we can take this and this. Find a common corner, copy. I'm going to do, I can go all over here, it doesn't really matter. As long as I click the exact same corner in the other one, it's going to put it right where I had it. So I stole this one by accident and then had that door done. So that door is not a 3-foot door, so we can't do an add selected on that. But we can draw a new door at 2.868. 2 feet 8, 6, 8. Opening percentage, 45. Select the wall that you want it on, right here. And where do you want the door? Now you'll notice I didn't change the type back. Click the door again, go back into the style, and go back to, it is called interior single. And that is the wrong, I don't know why the swing angle went so large, but we want to go back to 45. All right, so like that. Now, where's the position of this door? We got to measure this. You only really need to know one of these walls. So go to your dimension tool and figure out how far is it before the door starts. 3 feet 8. It swings into the left and it swings into the room, into the office. So 3 feet 8. I don't like to just draw here on top of this wall line. So what I'll do, like I did before, is slide and then click and then go up 3 feet 8 and then run straight through. That way I know what 2 lines to erase. They're like blatantly obvious, and you don't want to leave lines behind. Because take a look at this. I can put a line right back here, and now you don't know that it's there. So it's a double line that you'll never find, okay? Which is why I can hide stuff in the drawing, and you'll never find it. Taking the door, I'm going to use the move tool here because you'll see that this is actually grabbing it from the middle, and I didn't actually measure to the middle. I measured to where the door is going to start. So move, click from here, slide up until you get to that line, erase both lines, delete. It's going in, it's going to the left, it looks good. Okay, so this entire part is done. So what I want you guys to do is I want you to push forward on this. I didn't really want to show you the entire thing. Let's see if there's anything that's really hard. Oh, and you can copy the kitchen too. I don't want you to do any of this because we're not ready to design a kitchen yet and do all those lines. So you can select all of these things and you can do copy, and you can grab this from that corner and put it in this corner. Now you'll notice we're missing walls, we're missing doors. So I want you to do all of the doors, I want you to do all of the windows, I want you to do all of the walls, and then you're going to just steal everything else that's in my drawing. You can steal the fridge, you can steal the stove. Better to do it all in one shot like that. And you can also take appliances, or not appliances, but like some of these other things like toilets and sinks, like the tub, the text of the tub, all that stuff. So it's really not all that hard. You just got to go one wall at a time, one room at a time, and you got to double check what you're doing. So in this case, yes, this says 17.3 by 14 foot 9 1/4, and you may have drawn those lines at that length, but you got to double check your work. So you got to go back in here, and even I double check my work all the time because if you make a mistake, that's a big deal. 17 feet 3. Okay, this next number is probably going to be measuring to this wall, because if that wall was to continue, that would be what the living room is. But we want to go left to right. So 14 foot 9 1/4. Okay, you'll see my hallway. You'll need to know that is probably 3 foot 4. Okay, hallways can be 3 feet all the way up to 4 feet or 5 feet. Basically, the rule of thumb is the bigger the better for really everything. So the bigger master you can make, the better. 19 feet 5 by 14 feet. It's a good size, but you'll see, bigger ones somewhere else. 11 feet by 11 feet. Decent. It's almost by 12 feet actually. 11 by 11 again. 11.6. That's decent size for smaller kid bedrooms. The closets, they're usually 2 feet deep. the toilet is very specific about where it's located compared to where the wall is next to it. It's got to be from the wall 1 feet 5 or more from the wall. You can't have anything, and that's to the center of the toilet. From the center of the toilet, you can't have any vanity or wall be within 1 feet 5 of either side. So this right here, if this was the center or midpoint of the toilet, 1 feet 5, I can't have anything within the space of that line. So this could not be there. It would not work, okay? So that's just like some basic stuff. I don't want to get too far into that. I really want you to focus on, and don't worry about the deck either. You're probably going to copy and paste that as well. You don't need to do the dimensions. I will know if it's the right size. You will do all of the walls. You would do all of the doors. You'll do all the windows, and then you'll copy all the text in and all the toilets and the kitchen and appliances and everything else, and then you are done. This is going to take a little bit more time. So you'll see this is a 26-minute video already. It's going to take you a little bit more time to get through this stuff. So this might be 3 class periods. You have to finish what you were doing yesterday first. I'll check that when I'm coming around, and then you'll jump into this. We'll do this for a couple days, and you may do it a little faster, you may do it a little slower. And then after that, we're going to start working into, you know, like these are basically the elevations and how you would draw them. So what I do is I take my floor plan, I flip it around a couple different ways, and I'm going to teach you this huge lesson on how to draw these elevations and how to do a wall section and all that good stuff. So in about a week or two from now, you're going to be drawing this stuff, and you'll see that these are going to be, I have copies down here, but these will be what yours look like in this area right here. You'll create the front, the right, the front, the left, the right, and the rear. So take a look at how I organize this file here and kind of understand how everything's going to fall out. It's going to look exactly like these 4, but you need to learn how to make them. And then we move on to a bigger house, and then we move on to our dream project where you design your own house. It doesn't have to be huge, but it can be. It's totally up to you. And again, you have the samples on the side here. Yeah, and that's pretty much it. All right. So thank you for watching. If you are someone that is an outsider, please subscribe. If you're in the classroom, you guys can ask me any questions you want. Again, this is not videos so that I don't have to say anything in class. These are videos to help you, and then also that way I can go around and answer questions of people that need my help, and not just for 20 minutes every day teach a lesson that takes away too much time. So please ask me questions. It's not that I want to, sit there and do nothing. I want to help you guys. It's just that I think that the videos make it a lot easier. Okay, so that's 27 minutes. We got the backdrop, we got the intro, and we got the new name, and we're all good to go here. So I'll see you guys tomorrow in class, which is Friday, TGIF, and then you guys will have a 3-day weekend because it's Memorial Day weekend, and then boom, on Tuesday we'll be back into the action. All right, see you guys later. Thank you for watching.